Zhao Yunlan, who only wanted to make salted fish, traveled through time and wore it onto a chubby woman with the same name and surname. Ah, she was a woman, not only having a husband but also a child. Looking at this dilapidated mud house, the whole family is malnourished, weak and sickly, and their husband, as the eldest son, is actually a burden on the whole family. Zhao Yunlan had no choice but to rise up and fight, just to survive here safely. Keywords of the novel. Journey through the countryside's daughter.in.law's growth. No pop-ups, journey through the countryside's daughter.in.law's growth. Complete collection download, journey through the countryside's daughter.in.law's growth. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. I time traveled. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. I time traveled feeling the pain in the back of the head, there were children crying around, and there was a bitter taste in their mouths, all of which tasted like traditional Chinese medicine. Zhao Yunlan woke up leisurely. With a gentle turn of her head, she wanted to see clearly around her. It hurt so much, Zhao Yunlan let out a low voice. A child was crying beside her, Nan Qinwu. At this moment, Zhao Yunlan seemed unable to think due to her headache, only barely realizing that she had been rescued. Xiao Bao, be good, don't disturb your mother, let her rest for a while. Zhao Yunlan listened to a hoarse voice and slowly closed her eyes, falling asleep with the slowly stopping crying. Li Wang, later referred to as Wang, watched Zhao Yunlan fall asleep and carried her little treasure to the main room. Thank you, Dr. Sun, this is the medical fee for this time. Wang took out 8 yuan coins and called on Li to fetch 2 eggs and a basket of vegetables for Dr. Sunday. Dr. Sun accepted it as usual and instructed, just wake up and rest for the next few days. Don't do heavy work. Boil the medicine twice a day and drink it. I'll come back to take a look in 3 days. After Dr. Sun left, Wang felt mentally drained and planned to take Xiao Bao back to the house to lie down. After seeing Dr. Sun off, Li picked up a hoe and went to the field, while the rest of the family followed him. And Zhao Yunlan, who was falling asleep here, was dreaming one after another, dreaming that she was in ancient times, getting married, and having children. Everything in the dream is both familiar and unfamiliar. This dream seems to have grown so long. Looking back at her past 19 years, Zhao Yunlan felt something was wrong. How could it be 19 years? I have been graduating from college for a year now. Suddenly awakened with a start, looking at everything around him in the dim light. Zhao Yunlan thought to herself, which family is this? It seems that the place where I am teaching has never been here before. Zhao Yunlan thought about it and felt like her whole head was about to explode, and she also felt a bit nauseous. I thought to myself, I have a concussion from falling. I need to go to the hospital for a check-up. This brain is not a small matter. At this moment, there was a small dumpling sitting at the door quietly shouting, Nan Qin wa wa wa. Zhao Yunlan glanced at the little dumpling with a bewildered expression, Mother. There are other people in this room, why aren't they making a sound? Seeing that Zhao Yunlan didn't respond, Xia Chuanzi struggled to get up and fell down again, shouting at her again. Zhao Yunlan's head was even more swollen now, and suddenly more memories were rolling in her head. At this moment, she only wanted to vomit, and she did vomit. She didn't have time to get up and vomit on the ground, so she opened her mouth and vomited on the bed. When Xia Chuanzi saw his mother vomit, he was stunned and sat on the ground, crying loudly. Originally, Xia Chuanzi slept together with Wang. Usually, it was Zhao Yunlan who took a nap. Today, without Zhao Yunlan by his side, Xiao Bao didn't have a familiar aura and couldn't sleep. 2-year-old Xiao Bao didn't know how to get out of the bed, and he stumbled and took it away to see his mother. Wang was awakened to see a bed full of vomit and filth, and Xiao Bao sat on the ground crying, supporting the door frame and almost falling off. Wang dragged her heavy body to tidy up Zhao Yunlan, and slowly coaxed Xiao Bao to wipe her tears. After wiping her tears, she went to wipe Zhao Yunlan's mouth. After Wang finished everything, Zhao Yunlan realized that she wasn't her anymore. She fell into a cliché, unbelievable drop. Time travel. Wearing it on the body of an ancient married woman with the same name and surname as her. She is a married woman with a 2-year-old child. She feels dizzy, she wants to pout, she closes her eyes and wants to return to her own place. Lying straight on this hard bed with eyes closed and open 3 times in a row. This time, despite feeling dizzy, she was about to sit up. Wang, who was standing beside her, saw, Lan Yang, Diar. Son said you need to rest for a while. Don't get out of bed for the next few days. Zhao Yunlan didn't respond. She sat up, closed her eyes, and waited for a few minutes. After her head wasn't as dizzy, she whispered, I want to be alone for a while. Wang watched Zhao Yunlan's pale face and coaxed Xiaobao out. Zhao Yunlan felt dizzy and nauseous when she thought about it, and her heart became flustered. Glancing at my current body, right. This big body needs to weigh 150 or 60 pounds. Looking around again, the walls seem to be made of mud, with only a small window emitting a little light. The furniture in the whole house, except for the wooden bed under the buttocks, is left with 2 large wooden boxes at the end of the bed. Looking at what she was wearing again, at this moment she just wanted to howl up to the sky. Where exactly is this and how should she go back? She thought and did so, but before she could scream out, the pain, dizziness, and vomiting in the back of her head all hit. I vomited directly on myself this time. Rushing to the extreme, wanting to cry but unable to do so. After struggling for a long time, I couldn't bear the vomit spreading on my body and could only shout, I vomited again. Wang had just left without returning to her own room, so she stood outside the door with Xiaobao waiting. As expected, she still waited for this opportunity. Wang's heart was tired. Why did she start taking care of her daughter-in-law now? Hey, Wang went in and tidied up while saying, Lan Yang, you should rest well these days. I will have them bring you food, and Xiaobao will temporarily stay in our house. After speaking, I found another outfit for Wang to change into. At this moment, a voice rang out and Li Mingmei, the younger sister of the Li family, said, Mom, I'm back cooking. How's sister-in-law doing? Wang said, I vomited twice and looked at her with a confused and dazed mind. I propped up my body and tidied her up twice. I had to coax Xiaobao. Mom, go rest. Xiaobao will follow you to sleep for a while I cook and watch over my sister-in-law. Zhao Yunlan listened to the conversation between the mother and daughter and thought to herself. The old lady's tone was so obvious in her disdain for herself, but she was also very thoughtful when taking care of herself, so there is no sign of being a bad mother-in-law for the time being. Li Mingmei carried the dirty clothes she had changed out and prepared to wash them, while Wang led Xiaobao out together. There was only Zhao Yunlan and a foul smell left in the room. At this moment, Li Mingmei came in again and said, Sister-in-law, I'll leave the door open to let the smell dissipate. If you have anything to do, just call me and I'll go get busy first. Zhao Yunlan could only respond in a low voice. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Crossing Accidents. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Crossing Accidents. After Li Mingmei went out, she took Zhao Yunlan's clothes to wash and dry before starting cooking. The food at home had always been cooked by Li Mingmei and Zhao Yunlan in turn. Wang's health was not good, and she had been feeling tired for years. She had been relying on drinking medicine to relieve the stress for a long time. So after Zhao Yunlan entered the house, some household chores were handed over to Zhao Yunlan and Li Mingmei. Today, Li Mingmei learned that Zhao Yunlan had an accident, so she ended her work in the field early and came back to help. She was afraid that her mother wouldn't be able to handle it alone. It can be said that Wang took care of Zhao Yunlan and spent all her strength. At this moment, she was lying in bed, panting heavily. Li Mingmei was cooking in the kitchen and occasionally took the time to check on Zhao Yunlan's condition. Zhao Yunlan kept sitting and never vomited again. As the sky gradually darkened, the people in the field returned home one by one. Old man Li brought his second, third, and fourth son into the door and asked, "Little sister, has sister-in-law woken up?" Second son Li Mingyi asked. Li Mingmei said, "I'm awake and resting. I can't move for the time being, and when I move, I vomit. I've been tired of my mother all afternoon, so I'll go wake her up and prepare for dinner." Li Mingmei went to Wang's room to shout for someone, and then picked up Xiao Bao to coax him. Wang said, "I can't eat it, you guys can eat it." "Mother, why don't you call Dr. Sun to come and show you?" "No need, I'll take a break and bring the food to your sister-in-law. "Okay, Mom, I'll give you some congee to cushion your stomach and drink medicine later." Li Mingmei brought Zhao Yunlan a congee and cooked it with eggs and brown rice. "Sister-in-law, if you can eat by yourself, I will feed you." Zhao Yunlan. "Take your time, you can go eat." Li Mingmei watched Zhao Yunlan eat 2 mouthfuls before turning to go out, went to the main room to set dinner, and brought Wang a bowl of egg congee for her to eat. On the stove was still frying medicine from Wang and Zhao Yunlan, while Old Li and the others were eating in the main room. Each person had 2 steamed buns, paired with a large bowl of vegetable soup. Old man Li took care of Xiao Bao's meal, while Li Mingmei took her own steamed bun to the kitchen to watch for the fire. "After all, there are 2 people at home who drink medicine, so we need to hurry up. There are only 2 kerosene lamps at home, one for my parents to use in the bedroom and the other for my big brother and sister-in-law. The farmers can't see clearly when it gets dark at night and can't do anything." When Wang's medicine was almost cooked here, he started frying Zhao Yunlan's medicine. Old man Li also finished his meal, and the fourth son, Li Zhizhi, came to the kitchen to wash dishes. Li Mingmei brought the medicine to Wang's room and said, "Mom, I'll drink it when it cools down. I'll put it aside for you." Li Mingmei then turned around and went out to look at Zhao Yunlan's medicine. When the medicine was almost ready, she brought it back to Zhao Yunlan and put away the rice bowl that Zhao Yunlan had eaten. At this moment, spring has just begun and the weather is still quite cold. The medicine is also cooling quickly. After drinking the medicine and sitting for a while, Li Mingmei helped Zhao Yunlan lie down. Before going to bed, Zhao Yunlan thought to herself, "I hope she can open her eyes tomorrow and return to modern times." Contrary to her wishes, it was dawn and everyone in the family had gone to eat and eat. Zhao Yunlan woke up and Li Mingmei didn't go to the ground today because Wang fell tired yesterday and had to rest in bed today. Zhao Yunlan needed to take care of her, and Xiao Bao also needed someone to watch over her. Coincidentally, Li Mingmei came in to see Zhao Yunlan. When she woke up, she brought hot water to wash Zhao Yunlan up, and then brought him the warm rice in the pot. Xiao Bao followed her and looked at her mother. When Zhao Yunlan opened her eyes, she saw that she was still in this body and once again fell into despair. After numbly washing up, Li Mingmei didn't even hear Xiao Bao calling her beside her. Seeing this, Li Mingmei took Xiao Bao out and let Zhao Yunlan eat on her own. After Zhao Yunlan finished her meal, she brought medicine for her to drink. "After resting all night, my head is much better. Although I can't move too much, I'm not as dizzy as yesterday." Zhao Yunlan was drinking medicine and thinking about how she could go back, so she had to think about how she came from. She stumbled on the downhill road after finishing her volunteer teaching and preparing to take a bus to the bus station. Those days it rained and the mountain road was slippery. Originally, she had been waiting for the weather to clear up, but the road was a bit dry before setting off. However, she still slipped down a downhill slope and lost consciousness. She only felt like she had been pulled up by a suction force and arrived here. According to her original life memories, she stepped on a small wooden stick when going out, then leaned back and hit the back of her head, burping her but directly. Is it necessary to slip again now before going back? Zhao Yunlan seems to want to do so, but if she doesn't go back after slipping, it will only worsen her current injury. This ancient medical condition makes Zhao Yunlan hesitant. In this unfamiliar dynasty, she can only feel endless panic. Although in modern times, Zhao Yunlan doesn't have anyone to miss. When Zhao Yunlan was a child, her parents would always argue over trivial matters. Gradually, the relationship between the couple became weaker and weaker, leading to the inability to continue living together. The couple eventually decided to divorce. At that time, the young Zhao Yunlan also tried to save the broken family, but still did not change the fact of divorce. After divorce, her parents raised her together, so she lived with her mother for half a year and her father for half a year. Later, each of her parents had their own new family, and she was very sad. Her parents kept comforting her, saying that in the future, there would be one more father and one more mother who loved you. Zhao Yunlan knew that it would eventually be different. Later, both of her parents had children from a new family, and after further communication, Zhao Yunlan began to live on campus. During holidays, parents will first discuss who is convenient before notifying Zhao Yunlan which side of the house to return to. Zhao Yunlan noticed the changes in her parents as she grew older. As she grew up, she no longer loved to return to homes that did not belong to her. She chose a city far away from her parents in college, and her parents provided her with sufficient living expenses. Perhaps her parents also felt a debt to Zhao Yunlan, so Zhao Yunlan never lacked money and even saved a considerable amount of money. Despite this, during the winter and summer vacations during her university years, Zhao Yunlan also chose to work as a tutor for elementary school English. She studied English in college. After graduation, her parents had a dispute over her employment, and she really didn't want to hear them argue. Coincidentally, the school received a public welfare activity to teach in the southwest mountainous area for a year, so she signed up. After the end of teaching support, she actually fell in love with the feeling of being a teacher. She had planned to go on a trip and get a teaching qualification certificate after teaching support, and become an elementary school teacher in a small city. Unfortunately, it turned out that the weather was not as good as expected, so an accident happened. So she wants to go back just because the modern place is where she grew up from childhood, and she is familiar with that modern way of life. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Li Family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Li Family, Sister-in-law. If you want to go somewhere, I'll help you, Li Mingmei said in. Zhao Yunlan glanced at Li Mingmei and remembered that she was not 12 years old. In this day and a half of cognition, Li Mingmei, this little girl, is really manageable. She is busy from inside out, not idle, efficient in her work, and has a good personality. Zhao Yunlan nodded in response. In fact, she had already wanted to go to the bathroom, but she had been thinking about it and had slightly diverted her attention. Now that Li Mingmei spoke up, she felt an uncontrollable sensation. Zhao Yunlan pressed her weight of 150 to 60 pounds heavily on Li Mingmei, and watched as her hands were caught white and she was still holding on. Li Mingmei brought an unused wooden bucket for Zhao Yunlan's convenience in the morning. At this moment, Zhao Yunlan had no other worries and only wanted to solve the problem of smoothness. Li Mingmei stood beside her without even touching her eyebrows. After Zhao Yunlan finished solving the problem, she struggled to help her back to bed. Li Mingmei then picked up the filth and poured it into the toilet, and even cleaned the wooden bucket and brought it back. Zhao Yunlan watched as Li Mingmei's favor for her increased due to her busy schedule. Li Mingmei went to bring Xiaobao over again to see Zhao Yunlan. Zhao Yunlan was very helpless at the moment, thinking that she had never been in a relationship at the age of 24. Now she came here not only married but also had a child. Yes, where is my husband? Little sister, I keep coughing and coughing that husband. Zhao Yunlan wanted to ask where her cheap husband was, but I haven't seen him yet. Then she slowly recalled that the original owner's husband was studying in the town and didn't go home often on weekdays. If he didn't, he would just go home during the Chinese New Year. According to my original memory, Cheap Xiangong was the eldest in the family, named Li Mingren. After Zhao Yunlan married, she heard from her mother-in-law, also known as the Wang family, that in the early days, the old Li family was considered to have good conditions in the rural family. Li, the father of her husband, was the only son in the family. In times of chaos, Mr. Li was born in such an environment where there were refugees everywhere and the world was chaotic. However, because Qingshui town, where Li family village belongs to, is located in a remote area, there are very few people fleeing from famine. During the war, there were occasional changes to the yamen, but there was no proper management system. Coupled with the chaos of war outside, various forces increased their income of food everywhere. Li family village also experienced some famine, but it was because there was a shelter near the mountain and there was not enough food. Everyone gritted their teeth and persevered, but no one left Li family village. After the birth of Mr. Li, his grandfather, also known as Li Mingren, hoped that his son could grow up safely and the war would end soon. He named his son Li Pingyan, who is now Mr. Li. During the war, people's food and clothing conditions were particularly poor, leading to a decrease in fertility rates and the inability to support most of the children they gave birth to. Mr. Li was also considered a capable person, desperately protecting the pregnant woman until she gave birth. Li Pingyan was also born at full term. Although Mr. Li had the ability, his mother still injured her body and she never became pregnant again. Old Li became the only son in the family. When Li Pingyan was 10 years old, a new dynasty was established, a new emperor established a new policy, and various systems of the country began to be implemented. The devastated mountains and rivers began to come to life, and the lives of the people gradually breathed a sigh of relief. Mr. Li also felt guilty because his wife had a child and injured his body, so he worked very hard in farming. He opened up 6 acres of land on his own, and when it became more stable outside, he went to work part-time during leisure time to ensure that his wife and children could have enough food and clothing. Mr. Li's family has a small population, and his parents passed away early. Before the war, he separated from his brothers, so Mr. Li's family had a small population. However, because of this, Mr. Li also earned some family income and pushed the original wooden house to build a mud house. Later on, Wang Cuifan married over. 3 years after Li Mingren was born, Mr. Li saved an old scholar on the road outside the village. The scholar was originally going out to gather wind, but got lost in the mountains behind Li's village. Later, he encountered a wild boar and hurriedly avoided slipping down the mountain slope. Coincidentally, Mr. Li went to the mountain to pick up firewood and found him. Lao Xiaocai was recuperating at the Li family, and as a reward, he gave Mingren to the 3-year-old Li Guden, a virtual year-old, who had not yet been named at that time. Lao Xiaocai also taught Li Mingren how to recognize characters. Although Xiao Mingren didn't recognize any characters at that time, he just recited them together with a hint of confusion. Lao Xiaocai still praised Xiao Mingren's good learning through encouraging education. This encouragement made Mr. Li want to express his thoughts as a scholar. Later, Lao Xiaocai settled down in this village and became the only gentleman in the nearby village. Li Mingren began to study with him, and later, the second and third sons of the Li family were born one after another, and he was sent to Lao Xiaocai's school to recognize characters. When the third son Li Mingli was 4 years old, Lao Xiao passed away. The school no longer has a teacher, and the children who are studying in the school can only continue to go back to farming. Some have learned some words and become apprentices as waiters in the town, while only Li Mingren continues to read books at home. Upon seeing this, Mr. Li made up his mind to send Li Mingren to a school in the town. The second and third children stayed at home, while the fourth was only 2 years old and still had one left. As the family grew in size, Li Mingren's grandmother was getting older and her health was getting worse. She needed to take medicine all day to maintain her financial situation, so Mr. Li could only send Li Mingren to the school alone. Li Mingren went to the town to study and found that he did not have the talent for learning that the old scholar boasted of. He tried twice but failed the entrance exam, so he crawled into the corner of the ox and gradually only focused on studying, ignoring the family's affairs. After Li Mingren's grandmother left for a year, the old man finally couldn't hold on and left together. Li didn't inherit his ability, but instead Wang Cuifen supported the family and continued to support his eldest son's education, while the other sons stayed at home to work in agriculture. The couple also didn't know how to raise a scholar and allowed Li Mingren to study outside, so now they don't know anything except reading. As the children grew older, Wang Cuifen realized that her health was not good, so she took the initiative to appoint Zhao Yunlan, who was 1 year older than Li Mingren. Zhao Yunlan got married, and Li Mingren rarely interacted with Zhao Yunlan to cultivate feelings. Li Mingren rarely went home with a book to read. Zhao Yunlan also had a reverence for scholars and dared not disturb Li Mingren easily. Wang's health was getting worse and worse, afraid that he wouldn't be able to endure it. He urged Li Mingren to accompany Zhao Yunlan to have a child early. In addition, during that time, Li Mingren participated in the county trial but failed, and was stimulated to get sick and stayed at home for a period of time. Zhao Yunlan became pregnant during that time. At first, Zhao Yunlan was not considered fat, at most she was slightly plump and robust. Wang's decision was made based on Zhao Yunlan's slightly plump and robust physique. Until she became pregnant and gave birth, Zhao Yunlan gained weight and couldn't lose her figure. However, in ancient times, people believed that being overweight was the only way to look good and be lucky, so the original owner didn't have any concerns about her figure after gaining weight. Thinking of this, Zhao Yunlan guessed that the original owner's weight was too heavy, which led to his direct death in one blow. After hearing Zhao Yunlan talk about her husband again, Li Mingmei fell into contemplation and stood beside her speculating whether her sister-in-law had lost her mind and might have forgotten her husband. It wasn't until Zhao Yunlan regained her senses that she realized Li Mingmei was still waiting for her next to her. At this point, Zhao Yunlan may have used her brain too much at once, feeling dizzy and nauseous. Zhao Yunlan said, "Little sister, I want to take a break. Take Xiao Bao out." Apart from her invisible husband, Zhao Yunlan also dared not face her cheap son. After Li Mingmei took Xiao Bao out, she left Zhao Yunlan leaning on the bed to rest. When Zhao Yunlan didn't feel dizzy, she began to ponder again. The Li family was not in charge, the Wang family was in poor health and energy, and her cheap husband, as the eldest son, couldn't afford it. There were also 3 younger brothers and a sister below. Looking at the decoration of this room, you can see how difficult the Li family is now. According to her original memory, the current dynasty is the Jiaxiang kingdom, and it seems that Zhao Yunlan's historical knowledge does not include this dynasty. After the establishment of this dynasty, the reform of the land system and the outbreak of war were due to the severe land annexation of the previous dynasties. Later, during many years of war, most of the land was abandoned and unable to be cultivated. Therefore, the new rulers designated many lands as state-owned. After careful consideration, they issued a decree that men who reached the age of 16 could receive 20 acres of land, of which 5 acres were used as permanent farmland for sale, and the remaining 15 acres were used as oral farmland. After death, the state would take them back and divide them again. When this system was promulgated, Mr. Li was still there, but not counting from his generation, it started counting from Mr. Li's generation. So the original 6 acres of land in the family were changed back to 20 acres, and only 5 acres could pass down the family. Later, when the family fell ill and was studying, old Li couldn't sell 2 acres of land, leaving only 18 acres. It wasn't until Li Mingren and Li Mingyi were 16 years old that the family's land increased, but the corresponding tax revenue also increased. That is to say, the land that sustains or even survives in the family is currently 58 acres, of which 13 acres are owned by the family and the rest are owned by the state, and taxes need to be paid. At the beginning, the land of the Li family was not divided into fertile fields, but rather gradually sorted out by 3 generations of the Li family, in order to barely maintain the family's livelihood after deducting taxes. And now, in addition to the accident of Zhao Yunlan falling, our family also needs to provide a scholar and an old lady who has been drinking medicine for a long time. Zhao Yunlan was scared unconscious by her own situation this time. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Strange Feelings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Strange Feelings. Zhao Yunlan leaned against the bed and fell asleep. It wasn't until Li Mingmei called for Zhao Yunlan to get up and eat that she woke up. Zhao Yunlan was still a bit dazed for a moment. She had just fallen asleep and dreamed that she had gone back to Hengdian to play and saw many actors wearing ancient costumes. After being woken up by Li Mingmei for a while without any reaction, I thought I was filming. Subconsciously, he said, which celebrity is participating here? Li Mingmei thought to herself, my sister-in-law didn't really break her brain. It's not dark yet. Where are the stars from? Sister-in-law, it's almost time for you to have dinner. It's not dark yet, so there probably won't be any stars tonight. It looks like it's going to rain. Zhao Yunlan just came back to her senses, she still hasn't gone back. Hey, looking at the rice served by Li Mingmei and the congee cooked with eggs and brown rice, I can only accept my fate temporarily. Take good care of your head first, otherwise it's too uncomfortable to feel dizzy and nauseous all the time. Little sister, why don't you go eat? I can do it myself, said Zhao Yunlan. Li Mingmei responded, alright, sister-in-law needs to call me. She went out feeling uneasy. The man from the Li family also returned and prepared to eat. Wang Cuifan lay down all day and finally came out to eat. She asked Li Mingmei, Mei, how is your sister-in-law doing? Did you vomit today? Li Mingmei said, sister-in-law didn't vomit today, she just mentioned Big Brother. Should we go call Big Brother back? Wang said, tomorrow, my second son will go to the town and see your older brother. Let him come back. Li Mingyi said, yes, mother. Li Mingyi thought to himself, isn't it great if this Big Brother gets married? Big Brother and sister-in-law live separately, and there's no such thing as knowing hot or cold, let alone helping each other. I'd rather not get married for now. In fact, Wang has no plans to propose a marriage to Li Mingyi at the moment. After all, with the family's conditions here, it is impossible to find a good marriage. Even if it is mentioned, there is no money to buy it. Li Mingyi is indeed old, but in the past 2 years, the family has been facing difficulties, and Wang is also anxious. Even so, Wang did not want to cut off his eldest son's path to education, as if it was a persistent obsession with his father-in-law. After finishing their meal in the room, Li Mingmei went to Zhao Yunlan's room to tidy up the dishes and take care of her. After drinking medicine, Zhao Yunlan also went back to rest. Li Zhizhi said in this room, second brother, can you go to town tomorrow to see Big Brother? Can he come back? Li Mingli said, yes, this sister-in-law is quite miserable. It's okay if I don't see my elder brother on weekdays. Even if we get sick now, we have to go and shout. If I have a wife in the future, I won't leave her behind. Li Mingyi said, the third person is starting to think about his wife. In the darkness, I can't see Li Mingli's shyness clearly. I just said that, you haven't even gotten married. What do I think? Li Mingyi said, I still have some time to get married. Anyway, I don't want to get married at the moment. With my family like this, I probably don't have much money left. Go to bed. Tomorrow, I have to wake up early and go to town. The 3 brothers fell asleep as soon as they spoke, and Zhao Yunlan almost fell asleep after taking the medicine. Zhao Yunlan still thought about sleeping more during the day and not going to bed so early at night, but eventually fell asleep quickly and had no dreams all night. In the morning, Zhao Yunlan didn't know whether it was dawn or not. The windows of this house were covered by straw curtains made of straw. She was awakened by urine. The main reason was that she had to drink medicine in addition to congee these days. Every day, she had to drink water. At night, she had accumulated a bladder of urine. Zhao Yunlan didn't care to shout Li Mingmei, so she slowly moved and got out of bed to pee in that bucket. After resting for a day and a night, my head felt much better and I walked slowly without feeling dizzy. After urinating, Zhao Yunlan returned to bed. Although she felt much better, she was still not prepared to survive in this world. So currently, this hard bed that can still vaguely smell vomiting can give Zhao Yunlan a little sense of security. Li Mingmei came in to see Zhao Yunlan and helped her clean the toilet. Zhao Yunlan looked at the little girl's expression, which was still without complaint or regret, and spoke with a strange feeling, a feeling of long absence. Li Mingmei brought breakfast. Zhao Yunlan looked at the egg congee and said, "Little sister, pour out half of the congee. Bring me a wawatu." Zhao Yunlan couldn't stand drinking congee every day. The main reason is that the rice is also brown rice, and it is not particularly delicious. Without salt or sugar, the egg just boiled a little fishy. Li Mingmei said, "Sister-in-law, you still have injuries here, so it's better to have children and take care of yourself. My mother said she'll keep all the eggs for you to eat recently and won't sell them." Zhao Yunlan doesn't know what to say, she always feels strange in her heart. Except for the ground, there are only eggs left at home to collect and sell for money. Originally, Xiaobao would eat eggs every 2 to 3 days, but these days, due to Zhao Yunlan's illness, Xiaobao's eggs have been temporarily stopped. Zhao Yunlan has been eating eggs one by one these days. At this moment, Zhao Yunlan really wants to eat something dry. Zhao Yunlan insisted, "Little sister, you can bring your sister-in-law a steamed bun, and then take a bowl and share it with your mother." Li Mingmei heard that she was going to give her mother half of the money, but she only liked Zhao Yunlan's words. Wang Shi saw the congee his daughter brought and asked, "Why can't you eat?" Li Mingmei said, "Mom, this is what my sister-in-law gave you. Your sister-in-law's situation is much better today." Wang felt warm in her heart, not in vain for the tiredness she had been busy with for her that day. Zhao Yunlan can finally have something else to eat here, but she is still being bitten by this clump, which is too hard. "Sister-in-law, my second brother went to the town early this morning to call for the eldest brother, and he will be back in the afternoon," Li Mingmei said, carrying medicine again. What Zhao Yunlan is thinking at this moment is that it takes so long to go to a town, and modern transportation is convenient. It takes about 10 minutes by car to get to the city center. In ancient times, having an ox cart was considered a wealthy family. The Li family did not have cows and could only rely on their legs to get there. My thoughts pulled back, did I get the key point wrong? The cheap husband wanted to come back, and my heart was flustered and helpless. How can I deal with this? How can I face it? The expression on her face became uncomfortable. Li Mingmei looked beside her and thought Zhao Yunlan was going to vomit again. She quickly brought a wooden bucket for Zhao Yunlan to vomit at. Zhao Yunlan felt even more uncomfortable as she looked at the convenient wooden bucket in Li Mingmei's arms. Feeling powerless, Zhao Yunlan thought about how to deal with Li Mingren, saying, "Little sister, please go out first. I'll take a rest for a while." Unexpectedly, she felt dizzy and wanted to sleep, but ended up falling asleep. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. People from the Zhao family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. People from the Zhao family. Zhao Yunlan woke up and fell asleep. I occasionally feel someone entering the room, sometimes tucking in the blanket, sometimes bringing hot water, and sometimes adding small firewood to the brazier. Li Mingmei was busy inside and outside, looking at the two people coming from a long distance on the road. Upon closer inspection, it seemed that they were Zhao Yunlan's mother and elder brother. "Hurry into the house and shout to Zhao Yunlan, Zhao Yunlan is sleeping soundly. I haven't figured out how to face Li Mingren yet, but now I have to face my mother and elder brother first. Auntie, brother Zhao, you're here," Li Mingmei ran out to pick up someone again. Zhao Jiang, hereinafter referred to as Jiang, anxiously said, "How is Lan'er doing now? I heard them say that Lan'er knocked her head and has been unconscious ever since." "Auntie, sister.in.law has been doing much better these past few days. Let's go take a look first." Li Mingmei brought Jiang into the room and called out Zhao Laoda to go to the main room to rest and drink some water. As soon as Jiang entered the door and looked at her daughter lying in bed, her eyes lit up and she began to sob, "Lan'er, why is this head knocked like this?" Zhao Yunlan didn't know what to do for a moment, so she could only let Jiang cry while holding her, but after all, she hadn't recovered yet. Jiang kept shaking while crying, making Zhao Yunlan's head dizzy again. Zhao Yunlan shouted, "Mom, stop crying, I'm dizzy." Jiang immediately let go, feeling even more uncomfortable in her heart. Li Mingmei brought water to Jiang's side, and Wang followed over to greet her, saying, "My dear, it's me who's useless. I'm not in good health and I'm tired. Why don't you come and take care of Lan Yang?" Jiang had some resentment in her heart, and upon hearing Wang's words, she could only say, "My daughter always comes to see what kind of person you are, my in-laws. I know exactly what kind of person you are, otherwise we wouldn't have gotten married in the first place. It's just that although this uncle's education is important, this family should also take care of him. What my in-law's mother said is that my second son went to town today to call the eldest son. When the eldest son comes back, I will be sent by my in-law's mother. My in-law's mother will accompany Lan Yang to talk and stay here for dinner tonight," said Wang. Feeling guilty, Zhao Yunlan recalled the Zhao family during the conversation between the Jiang and Wang families. The original Zhao Yunlan's parents were still alive, and there was a big brother and a younger brother who came with her. There were only 3 siblings in the family. Although the Zhao family is living a tight life, they are especially kind to this daughter on weekdays. When Zhao Yunlan was still at home, she rarely did field work and only helped with some household chores. Otherwise, Zhao Yunlan could be raised fat and strong in the farm. Zhao Yunlan and the Jiang family have a good relationship. After getting married, the Jiang family occasionally asked Zhao Laoda to bring some rice, noodles, and meat to Zhao Yunlan, fearing that Zhao Yunlan's life at her husband's house would not be satisfactory. After Zhao Yunlan finished recalling, Wang also left the room and let the mother and daughter chat alone for a while. Wang called Li Mingmei and said, "Go to the field and call your father and them back. The leader of the Zhao family is here, come back and accompany us." Inside, Zhao Yunlan looked at Jiang Shi, feeling a bit flustered, afraid that her unnatural behavior would be discovered. Jiang was feeling sad at the moment and said, "Back then, my mother didn't agree to let you marry. Look, now that you've been injured, there's no one around. If it weren't for your Aunt Dahua passing by our house and talking to us, we wouldn't have known. It's also because my parents were useless. If it weren't for the poor family conditions at that time, which delayed your chances of getting married, you wouldn't have gotten married here." Zhao Dahua's mother's family is also from Zhejiagu. When Jiang married into Zhejiagu, Zhao Dahua was still discussing marriage. Coupled with the close proximity of the two families, they often talked together, and their relationship became better and better. "Mom, I'm fine. I've been much better these past few days, and my little sister is taking care of me very well." After hearing Jiang's words, Zhao Yunlan didn't realize she could blurt out the word "Mom." Jiang said, "Can my sister.in.law compare to my husband? He hasn't come back since giving birth to a child. At the beginning, I said this scholar wouldn't be heartbroken. You and your father, hey, it's impossible to say so much now." Zhao Yunlan thought to herself that it was indeed her and her father who agreed. Her father wanted to be a good scholar, so that even if she had a career in the future, her daughter wouldn't have to go down with her. However, Zhao Yunlan was deceived by Li Mingren's appearance and agreed after seeing each other. Jiang couldn't resist the father and daughter, so she had to give up, so after marriage, Zhao often provided support for her daughter. The Zhao family were all harmonious and did not care about Zhao's mother's support for her daughter. Zhao Yunlan looked at Jiang again, a long-lost feeling spreading in her heart. "Mother, stay with me tonight. Let's talk to our mother and daughter and let our eldest brother go back first," Zhao Yunlan said, realizing that her words were so natural. For a moment, her expression became difficult again. Jiang thought she was feeling uncomfortable again when she saw Zhao Yunlan's expression. "Lana, your head is dizzy again. If it's not possible, let's go to town and have a look. Mom brought money over." Zhao Yunlan said, "Mom, I'm fine, I'm really fine. I don't need to go to town for now." She thought to herself, "I don't want to meet Li Mingren all the way to town. Besides, the road is rough and bumpy, and it's even more uncomfortable." Jiang looked at Zhao Yunlan's expression returning to normal before putting her worries into her heart and said, "I won't stay. Your mother-in-law said your uncle will come back this afternoon, and I will go back later. Just make sure you're okay, Mom." After speaking, she picked up a package and opened it. Zhao Yunlan thought to herself that I was still praying that the cheap prince wouldn't come back. Seeing that there were about 10 eggs, a piece of wrapped wild boar meat, and 31 in the package, Zhao Yunlan's heart swelled. There were not many farmers in this area with good conditions, and in this era, there were not many mothers from poor farmers who could marry their daughters to the outside world like this. Jiang said, "This wild boar meat was bought by your father and big brother who went to the mountains with the villagers yesterday. Everyone who participated in it shared a piece, and I left half for you to take over. These 31 were the private house I had saved up by picking wild mountain mushrooms before. You can take them and see what you need. My mother is far away and can't take care of you." After saying this, Zhao Yunlan started crying again. At this moment, her nose was also sour, the long-lost maternal love was about to erupt in her at this moment, but she still held back her tears. "Mom, you can take this money back. I don't need it. I still have the money I gave last time. Mom, don't take the money anymore. I'm not hurt much." Zhao Yunlan had about 10 won of money under her bed, and if it weren't for Jiang taking the money out, she wouldn't have remembered. Jiang felt sorry for her daughter, so she forced the money under her bed. It was indeed a mother and daughter, and with the money stuffed in, she heard Zhao Yunlan's voice outside. "Mother, it's getting late. Second sister, big brother will come and see you in a while. Big brother, I can't walk too much now. I can't even see you anymore. When I'm well, I'll go home and see my dad and you." Zhao Yunlan Jiang said, "Okay, I'll go back first. When it gets dark later, I can't even see the road clearly. It takes 3 hours to walk from Zhejiagu to Lijia village, and Zhao Yunlan feels a bit reluctant. Although it is her first time in contact with Jiang, she can feel the sincere feelings. "Mom, when I'm good, I'll come back to see you." Wang rushed over and said, "Mother-in-law, let's have dinner before leaving. Let's set up the meal earlier." Jiang said, "No, come again next time. If our family is still busy, let's leave first." Jiang left with her eldest son. Zhao Yunlan called for Li Mingmei to cook the pork. It had just started spring and the weather was cool. Although the meat didn't spoil so quickly, it wasn't good to let it go for too long. "My family hasn't eaten meat for a long time, and I need to replenish my body, so I decided to boil it directly and give the eggs to Wang." Wang took the eggs and put them in the warehouse. The Li family has a room for storing grain. Zhao Yunlan was left in the room pondering alone. "If I really can't go back, how do I get along with these people and how do I survive in this era?" Yes, Zhao Yunlan realized that going back is not so easy, and it may even be impossible. She never thought about whether modern parents would miss her if she didn't go back. What she thought about was how to face her original family if she stayed here. A genuine family relationship will not disappoint anyone. The short time spent with Jiang has indeed touched her, and even with Li Mingmei's care in the past few days, she has also kept it in her heart. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Not coming back. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 7. If you can't go back, stay with peace of mind. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. If you can't go back, stay with peace of mind. Zhao Yunlan was lying in bed resting, as the thunder outside grew louder and the rain grew heavier. Zhao Yunlan's heart also pounded, and the feeling of panic began again. Li Mingmei came in holding Xiao Bao, who was crying and looking for his mother. Li Mingmei had no choice but to hold him over. Although the distance was not far, his hair was also wet. Zhao Yunlan looked at Xiaobao's dependence on her and suddenly felt an inexplicable sense of peace. Sorry to trouble you, little sister. There's a clean cloth over there to wipe your hair. Xiao Bao will stay here. I'm much better now, so I can take care of him. Sister-in-law, I'll go feed the chickens first. Just shout out to me if there's anything. Well, by the way, there's no need to bring me food tonight. I'll take Xiao Bao to the room to eat. Okay, sister-in-law, I'll go get busy first, said Li Mingmei, covering her head and running out. Zhao Yunlan and Xiao Bao lay in bed together, gently patting and comforting Xiao Bao, as if their flustered hearts were also comforted. Xiao Bao slowly fell asleep under Zhao Yunlan's comfort, and Zhao Yunlan sat beside him lost in thought. If I really can't go back, I have to live here. This dynasty, like the dynasties in previous history books, is ultimately bound by women. Although the new emperor promulgated some systems that were beneficial to women after the war, such as allowing the woman to propose a divorce if the couple's life was not harmonious, both men and women were required to remarry within 2 years after the divorce. During the war years, the population decreased significantly, so in recent years, the country has been implementing policies to increase the population. The court stipulated that women can establish female households, but they must be widows with sons and also pay a household tax. After the establishment of the new dynasty, women were also allowed to have personal property. Before this dynasty, women's dowries would be included in the man's property system. It is said that the new emperor's love for the empress changed the system. Now the dowry of a woman is at her own discretion, and the man has no right to interfere. And women can purchase land, and the country will not allocate land to women, but women can buy land to purchase. Wealthy families who love their daughters can also allocate land to their daughters. Except for businesswomen, married women from other classes who manage their own businesses will not be classified as businesswomen. This is also a dynasty that divided scholars, farmers, and merchants. It seems that history has turned a corner at a certain point, and the imperial examination system still exists. If a family wants to pursue an official career, 3 generations are not allowed to engage in business. Therefore, people who pursue an official career generally need to cultivate their own talents from a young age. After all, this era has a high family consciousness and clear hierarchy. And some small families, if they become scholars, will ask their wives to help manage their industries. Zhao Yunlan suddenly realized that the original owner did not recognize characters, which was really uncomfortable for those who had received university education in the 21st century. In ancient times, there were no talented people, and they even became illiterate. Although in this era, most women from rural families did not recognize characters. Zhao Yunlan began to have some understanding of surviving in ancient times. Learning to recognize characters was the first step. If the Li family would continue to provide Li Mingren with education, she would also need to grow. If Li Mingren is not a good student, she must also be able to recognize characters. Otherwise, she would have to do something else to deceive others, such as signing documents. At present, the probability of being a widow is not high, and one cannot be a widow without accidents. They can only stay at the Li family, and this condition is indeed. Li Mingmei shouted outside, "Sister-in-law has eaten." Zhao Yunlan watched as Xiao Bao was still asleep and gently woke him up, saying, "Get up and eat first." She put on Xiao Bao's shoelaces and took him to the upper room. After coming these days, I finally took a closer look at the Li family. Although there are memories of the original body, it is different from personal contact with oneself. After all, the feelings of the original body towards the Li family are different from my current feelings towards the Li family. Wang had already been exposed to it. Although she was only in her 30s, she looked like a modern 50-year-old lady due to years of hard work and inadequate nutrition, as well as continuous production. Mr. Li appears to have a relatively strong physique, with a life of constant labor and an unconscious hunchback that looks about 10 years older than his actual age. A few half-aged boys and Li Mingmei are both dark-skinned, thin, and the entire Li family is mostly thin and dark. Only Zhao Yunlan has never lost weight because her foundation was relatively good and she didn't pay attention to her diet and gained weight after pregnancy. Zhao Yunlan regained consciousness and shouted, "Father, mother, second and third younger brothers, little brother." Mr. Li said, "If it's okay, let's eat. Second, third, and fourth, sister-in-law, sit down and eat first." Wang nodded on this side. The family ate together. Li Mingmei thought Zhao Yunlan would serve dinner at night, so she cooked a pot of brown rice porridge without eggs and steamed some corn flour waotu. In early spring, everyone began to work in the field, which was laborious, so the family had some rice porridge to raise. Zhao Yunlan thought to herself that there were already corn and sweet potatoes in this dynasty, but potatoes had not yet been seen. In her memory, it was only during the Ming dynasty that corn and sweet potatoes were introduced to China from abroad. So what exactly is this dynasty? Let's eat first. Eating without hesitation, except for Xiao Bao, Zhao Yunlan took care of Xiao Bao while eating, dancing. After everyone finished eating, Zhao Yunlan helped pick up the dishes in the kitchen, and Li Mingmei was responsible for washing them. Zhao Yunlan took Xiao Bao back to her room. Zhao Yunlan played with Xiao Bao for a while. Xiao Bao wanted to stay and sleep with her mother. Zhao Yunlan wanted to sort out the situation here first and didn't want anyone to disturb her, so she had to say to Xiao Bao, "Mother's head is still a bit painful. Xiao Bao will go sleep with her grandmother today." Xiao Bao was also sensible and didn't make much noise, so he led Zhao Yunlan to the bedroom together. After handing over Xiao Bao to Wang, Zhao Yunlan returned to her room and tossed and turned in bed. After thinking for a while, she got ready to write a plan. However, she didn't know the language here, and it was difficult to write modern characters. If someone saw it and thought it was a spell, it would be bad. Zhao Yunlan felt frustrated that she had become illiterate. In the end, she decided to tidy up the house and learn about her current wealth. There were a total of 40.31 copper coins under the bed, all given by the Jiang family. There was also a silver hairpin brought with her dowry, along with some clothes and a few pieces of coarse cloth. Zhao Yunlan also found several books in the box, and the characters on them looked a bit similar to traditional Chinese characters in modern time and space. Judging from the blurry handwriting and rough paper, it should be a handwritten copy. Zhao Yunlan speculated that it may have been copied and bound by Li Mingren during his previous studies. With the plan to recognize characters, Zhao Yunlan had to start thinking about how to implement it. The three younger brothers in the family are all literate. You can ask them. Before, the second and third brothers also studied for a few years. Later, when the fourth brother grew up, he learned how to read and was taught by the second and third brothers. In this era, as a sister-in-law, I can't keep pestering a few uncles to learn how to read. Waiting for Li Mingren to come back and teach yellow cauliflower is already cold, let alone whether he is willing to teach or not. Finally, Zhao Yunlan thought of starting from Li Mingmei's side and had a plan. Zhao Yunlan felt drowsy and just waited for tomorrow day to start taking action. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Recognition and Action. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Recognition and Action. The next morning, Zhao Yunlan woke up early and saw that the weather outside was raining again. She thought to herself, today is a day for everyone to study. Slowly walk to the kitchen to see if Li Mingmei needs any help. Li Mingmei watched as Zhao Yunlan walked in and said, "Sister-in-law, you're up. The meal will be ready in a while. Sister-in-law cooked an egg for you and Xiao Bao today." Zhao Yunlan was somewhat moved. "Give the eggs to my mother. I'm not feeling dizzy anymore, just take care of them slowly. You and my mother are really good. I just told my mother to cook 3 eggs, and you 3 eat them, but my mother said to only cook the 2 of you, sister.in.law." Li Mingmei finished speaking and picked up the eggs she put back and cooked them together. Zhao Yunlan had to turn around and place the dishes. Go to the upper room again to see Xiao Bao and dress him, but Zhao Yunlan didn't realize that being a mother was becoming more and more natural. Like most rural families, the Li family has 2 meals except for 3 during busy farming hours, and only the little one at home can add an extra meal every day. During this period, it has been cold. Although Mr. Li and his team go to the ground every day, there is not much work in the field, so they only eat breakfast and dinner. Breakfast is a mixture of corn flour and wild vegetables, with Wang and Zhao Yunlan each eating an egg. After finishing breakfast, Zhao Yunlan helped tidy up together and was ready to start the word recognition operation. Watching Li Mingmei finish her work, she approached and asked, "Little sister, do you recognize characters?" In Zhao Yunlan's memory, she had never seen Li Mingmei engage in writing or reading. "I recognize some of them. I've learned from my second brother before." Li Mingmei was surprised when Zhao Yunlan's question returned. Zhao Yunlan's eyes lit up and she said, "Then sister.in.law, let's learn from you. I want to recognize some characters." Li Mingmei was a bit puzzled, but she didn't ask, "Okay, sister.in.law, I'll tidy up and go to your house to teach you later." Zhao Yunlan breathed a sigh of relief. She had originally planned to have the second son and the others teach through Li Mingmei, but it didn't take much effort. Li Mingmei recognized the characters and followed Li Mingmei to learning as much as possible. After Li Mingmei gets used to her studies, it will be easier for them to teach by pulling her and calling her the second teacher. The first step in ancient survival is the beginning of literacy. Zhao Yunlan went to the upper room to look at Xiao Bao, and quickly returned to the room to find those few books waiting for Li Mingmei. Zhao Yunlan. "Little sister, what are these books?" Li Mingmei said, "Sister-in-law, this is the 1000-character classic, this is the 3-character classic, and this is the 100 family surnames. This was copied by my elder brother when he first started his enlightenment. I only learned some of the first parts of the 1000-character classic, and I haven't learned the latter part. The characters I learned haven't practiced for a long time, and they are also a bit vague." "It's okay, teach me as much as you know," Zhao Yunlan said. Li Mingmei said, sister.in.law, let me read a sentence. "Listen, I can only recognize characters. When it comes to learning, I can't understand. This sentence is: the world is dark and yellow, the universe is vast and vast. The sun and moon are full of light, and the stars are in the sky." Zhao Yunlan followed suit and read it again. The writing style of this dynasty is quite complex. While reciting it, Zhao Yunlan used her fingers to stroke it. Li Mingmei brought a small wooden stick and asked Zhao Yunlan to write on the ground. The floor of the house is all muddy, and it has been leveled during the construction process. In addition, people usually step on it, so it does not grow grass and is relatively smooth and not stumbling. However, with a wooden stick, you can still see the marks. Sister-in-law, when my older brothers taught me how to read, they asked me to write with a wooden stick. Writing it once would help me remember better. Zhao Yunlan also knows the truth that a good memory is not as good as a bad pen. Taking the stick, she squatted on the ground to write, and Li Mingmei followed suit. When Zhao Yunlan remembered these words almost, she wanted to stand up and found that her legs were numb. She quickly grabbed Li Mingmei's hand and sat on the ground slowly rubbing her legs. "Little sister, let's start learning these words today. I'll take a break and help you cook together later. Zhao Yunlan estimated that it was time to prepare dinner, so she would have 2 meals on weekdays, so she had dinner earlier. Li Mingmei said, "Sister-in-law, please rest and I'll go by myself." After speaking, she turned around and walked out the door. Zhao Yunlan didn't say anything either. After resting, she slowly stood up and realized that she should be losing weight. The second step in ancient survival is to lose weight and have a good body. Thinking about it, I walked to the kitchen to help Li Mingmei cook together. Zhao Yunlan watched as Li Mingmei was steaming steamed buns again, and when cooking vegetables, she didn't know what to eat. Except for the pork brought by Jiang, I haven't eaten any meat since I came here these days. I've been sick these past few days and can still eat an egg. The Li family and other middle-aged girls eat these meat and fish every day, which are not contaminated. According to modern times, they are still growing and developing during adolescence, and they eat them every day without nutrition. Zhao Yunlan has now made the third step plan to find ways to improve Li's diet. Li Mingmei brought 2 eggs to cook egg custard, intending to have Li, Zhao Yunlan, and Xiao Bao eat some egg custard. Zhao Yunlan looked at Li Mingmei's neat appearance and felt a slight touch in her heart. The children of the poor had long been in charge. When I was 11 or 12 years old, I was still watching Pleasant Goat. Hey, Zhao Yunlan helped Li Mingmei prepare the meal and set the table for everyone to eat. Before dinner, Mr. Li asked Mrs. Wang, "Is the boss preparing for the exam this year?" Wang replied, "Well, I don't know how he's prepared this year. Let's eat first and ask the boss when he comes back." The second person thought to himself, "Big brother will have to spend some money on the exam, and I don't know how much money is left on his mother's side." The third person thought about not being busy during this period and going out to see if he could find a part-time job. The fourth person buried his head in eating and envied his older brother for being able to keep reading. Zhao Yunlan was unaware of the thoughts of everyone in the Li family, thinking that she would always face Li Mingren and still have to do what she needed to do. Zhao Yunlan calculated the date when Li Mingren would return. After the original owner got married, which was before Zhao Yunlan became pregnant, Li Mingren had taken an exam. At that time, it was in late February, and Li Mingren should be back in a few days. Hey, kind-hearted. After the family finished their meal, Zhao Yunlan helped tidy up the table and chatted with Wang a few times before taking Xiao Bao back to the house. Originally, Zhao Yunlan didn't want to take Xiao Bao with her, but Xiao Bao was very clingy to her tonight. Perhaps the emotions that had accumulated in her heart in the past few days suddenly erupted, and she wanted to follow Zhao Yunlan. She had no choice but to take Xiao Bao back to the house. After returning to the house, Zhao Yunlan continued to review today's words on the ground with a small wooden stick, while Xiao Bao watched from the side and followed with a sticky reading, "Heaven and earth are dark yellow, Uncle Yu is Hong Fang." Zhao Yunlan couldn't help but be overjoyed. Children at this age are the cutest when it comes to learning to speak. Zhao Yunlan thought that if Xiao Bao could guide her well, she would not be too bad at reading in the future. Well, if her husband is not good in the future, she should focus on Xiao Bao and cultivate her well. At present, she cannot be too anxious. She should eat every bite of food, and children should still enjoy playing more. Zhao Yunlan has been reviewing quite well, so she went to the kitchen to fetch water for Xiao Bao to clean and prepare for sleep. The Li brothers were boiling water in the kitchen and helping Zhao Yunlan bring the water to the door of the room. Late at night, Xiao Bao also slept soundly in his contented embrace. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Stir-fried vegetables are fragrant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Stir-fried vegetables are fragrant. In the next few days, besides helping with household chores, Zhao Yunlan was also busy recognizing words. Not only Zhao Yunlan, but also Li Mingmei had a deeper impression of what she had learned every day. Li Zhizhi occasionally watched his sister-in-law and younger sister studying and would come over to take a look. This is exactly what Zhao Yunlan meant. When encountering characters that Li Mingmei doesn't recognize, you can ask Li Zhizhi. These days, the Li family has gradually accepted Zhao Yunlan's behavior of learning to recognize characters. Zhao Yunlan has also intentionally adjusted her state in the past few days, gradually returning to herself in some small matters instead of the original Zhao Yunlan. The Li family seemed to have noticed it, but they couldn't figure out what was going on. They thought it was a bit of a sequela after a head injury, but Zhao Yunlan, who had not yet noticed the change, became more comfortable to get along with. Zhao Yunlan also knows that too much change can cause suspicion, and can only slowly penetrate into the Li family through daily small behaviors and habits. During this period, Zhao Yunlan also observed that Xiaobao did indeed have a good memory. If Li Mingren did not achieve success in the future, he could cultivate Xiaobao. However, Xiaobao is still young now, and Li Mingren is considered a teenager in modern times, so he is not in a hurry. Zhao Yunlan once again marveled at why marriages were so early in this wicked ancient world. Zhao Yunlan felt that her head had almost recovered in the past few days, and she no longer felt dizzy or vomited. Therefore, she gradually took on household chores. After all, a big family had to eat and drink, and relying solely on Li Mingmei was too tiring. Even modern Li Mingmei can still celebrate Children's Day. During this period of time, only old man Li needs to take the fourth brother with him to check the situation early in the morning and late in the evening. The second and third brother went to the town together to find a job of carrying goods. One day at 10:01, they sent a mixed flour mantou at noon. The two brothers brought some dry food and clothes. As for where they live, it is not clear. That morning, Zhao Yunlan finished tidying up the dishes and learned some new characters before planning to take a walk in the village. Zhao Yunlan's memory goes that the Central Plains lord used to visit various aunts and sister-in-law houses to borrow things and so on. Although Zhao Yunlan is not very interested in visiting, going out for a stroll to breathe fresh air and see the ancient rural scenery is also quite pleasant. Zhao Yunlan decided to carry Xiaobao out, so she found thick clothes to put on for him. During this time, Xiaobao basically followed Zhao Yunlan, and the two of them became closer together. Of course, the main reason was that Zhao Yunlan's side had changed greatly, and Xiaobao remained attached to Zhao Yunlan as always. The two of them rushed towards the village after leaving the Li family's door, walking non-stop. There were over 90 households in the entire Li family village, and looking at their houses, it was clear that the conditions were not very prosperous. Perhaps it was cold, and no one was seen along the way. Only the distant mountains appear to have people digging for wild vegetables. Zhao Yunlan watched as Xiaobao got tired from following Huang and walked back with him. When she returned, she met Li Yuqing, the youngest daughter of the village head's family. The two of them greeted each other and chatted briefly before parting ways. Zhao Yunlan recalled her relationship with Li Yuqing, but she didn't seem to be very familiar with her. Thinking about the place that didn't raise suspicion earlier, she slowly and leisurely returned home. When she returned home, she helped Li Mingmei tidy up the chicken coop. Zhao Yunlan didn't expect herself to adapt so smoothly to this life. She returned to her room and looked at her bed, deciding to change it. Fortunately, the original owner brought an extra set of bedding and sheets when they got married, and Wang had also purchased new cotton wool before. Zhao Yunlan went to the kitchen again to boil water, wash and dry the blankets. After packing up, follow Li Mingmei and Li Zhiming to the mountain to pick up firewood. It's still cold now, and I use a lot of firewood every day. Zhao Yunlan started thinking about how to improve the living environment after being able to do more household chores. It wasn't so difficult to go to the mountainous area to teach before. Every day, I think about what I can do with my education experience over 20 years ago in ancient times, and then realize that it doesn't seem to be very useful. A 9-year compulsory education and a 3-year devilish high school career are useless here, otherwise she wouldn't have learned the language here again. Moreover, many advanced modern knowledge and ideas cannot be taken out in a big way, otherwise it would have led to fatal accidents. The English major in university doesn't even have a place to use it. I don't even know if there are foreign missionaries or anything like that. Even if there are, they probably use Old English, which is different from modern learning. Zhao Yunlan picked up firewood and pondered for a while before tying it together. Li Mingmei and Li Zhizhi were still thinking of helping her carry some firewood, but Zhao Yunlan refused. Zhao Yunlan knows her ability to bear the burden, so she can carry the firewood she picked up within her capabilities. In addition, Zhao Yunlan is currently deliberately losing weight, no longer eating eggs after feeling dizzy, and is also reducing her daily appetite. Zhao Yunlan must participate in household chores like climbing mountains to reduce firewood. Although it didn't have much effect in just a few days, she felt that sleeping at night was more enjoyable. 3 people carried firewood down the mountain and went home. Zhao Yunlan went to cook dinner and once again wanted to howl in the sky. The rudimentary kitchen was all there was to it, and she couldn't get any seasoning, only some bitter and coarse salt. Eating it like this every day, how did the original owner gain weight before? Zhao Yunlan went to the backyard to pull out a few radishes and make a cabbage. Zhao Yunlan was preparing to go to the granary to get corn flour and eggs. Zhao Yunlan looked at the health of her family, especially Wang, who was in such poor condition. However, whenever she had to cook eggs for Wang, she refused, citing that she was already taking medicine to replenish her body and not wasting too much food. Wang's temper was twisted. Although Zhao Yunlan knew that taking medicine alone was not enough and that she needed more nutrition, she couldn't resist Wang's temper. Zhao Yunlan thought of using cabbage to stir-fry an egg, so that Wang couldn't refuse anymore, and the whole family could have some to eat. Zhao Yunlan saw the meat that Jiang had previously brought in the egg cabinet in the warehouse, and there was a dedicated cabinet in the Li family's warehouse for eggs and meat. That day, Zhao Yunlan asked Li Mingmei to cook and eat together. Li Mingmei was still reluctant to finish cooking, so she put the remaining meat away. Zhao Yunlan couldn't bear watching Li Mingmei take on most of the household chores these days, so she took on the responsibility of cooking. At this moment, Zhao Yunlan was thinking about cooking for herself and letting herself arrange. When she was teaching herself in the mountainous area, she had already mastered the skill of cooking with a firewood stove. Zhao Yunlan took the meat to the kitchen, but it was cold and the meat froze, which was why it could be stored for so many days. Zhao Yunlan worked hard to cut a small piece of fat and didn't plan to make meat or vegetables tonight. She just cut some fat to fry in oil. The Li family was so poor that they couldn't even save lard, and the rest of the meat was put back, intending to wait for the second and third to come back and eat together. The small piece of fat on Zhao Yunlan's side was fried in oil, and the fat on the wild boar was not thick. Zhao Yunlan thought that Zhao probably picked up the piece with more fat specifically. In modern times, people are not interested in fat, but in ancient times, everyone believed that fat was good, indeed. Everyone can't eat enough and can't even catch any oil or water. Can this fat not be fragrant? Zhao Yunlan looked at the fried meat and bit a bit with a small wooden spoon. This small wooden spoon was still used by Xiao Bao for eating. Unfortunately, how much oil could be boiled out of this small piece of fat, and the remaining fat residue was also scooped up together. There was barely a bottom in the pot, as well as the oil sticking to the pot. Zhao Yunlan quickly beat the eggs and stir-fried them. The cabbage was already cut long ago, and when the eggs were almost ready, he would also stir-fry the cabbage together. Finally, a little salt was added, and the cabbage and scrambled eggs came out of the pot. Zhao Yunlan had to say that fortunately, the Li family had an iron pot. Although this pot was old, it could at least be used. This pot was purchased by Mr. Li during his lifetime. However, Zhao Yunlan recalled that the Li family seemed to have never eaten stir-fried vegetables, and the Li family's table was always filled with a large pot of stewing. No wonder Zhao Yunlan feels something is wrong when she comes to eat these past few days. In fact, there are few households in the village that have iron pots, and almost none that eat stir-fried vegetables. Apart from the high cost of cooking, there is also a lack of knowledge and exposure to stir-fried vegetables. After all, stir-fried vegetables are only found in better restaurants, and farmers are not willing to go to restaurants to eat on a daily basis. They even hesitate for a long time to eat a bowl of vegetarian noodles at a small stall. Zhao Yunlan continued to immerse herself in cooking. She began to cook radish soup without any seasoning, so she had to cook it this way. The small spoonful of lard and the piece of fat residue that Zhao Yunlan had just scooped up were now poured into the soup and cooked together, while sticking it to the pancake. The meal was ready, and Zhao Yunlan greeted the Li family for dinner. Today, there were already cabbage and scrambled eggs, but Zhao Yunlan didn't cook eggs for Xiao Bao. The Li family was a bit surprised to see that today's food was different from before. Li Zhizhi blurted out, "It's so delicious, sister.in.law. This dish is different from before." Zhao Yunlan said, "It came out of my own imagination. Sometimes when my brain breaks, I feel like I'm just trying to figure things out." The Li family thought to themselves, "Everyone is starting to think about recognizing characters. Can we not spend a day pondering?" One thought, "I don't know if this brain injury is good or bad." Li Mingmei looked at the dishes on the table and asked, "Sister-in-law, did you cook the meat?" Zhao Yunlan said, "I cut a small piece and boiled some oil. I only realized the importance of having a good body when I picked up my life. My father and mother are getting older and need to take care of their bodies. I won't mention my younger brother outside for now. You two are still young and need to take care of your bodies. Xiao Bao is also young, and the whole family needs to take care of their bodies." Li Mingmei's eyes turned slightly red. Wang had originally intended to say a few words, but she didn't say anything now. She didn't know that all of this was just a matter of poverty. Zhao Yunlan saw that everyone was not silent, so she just talked about eating. This was the first time the family had eaten this kind of stir-fried food, and they all praised it, as evidenced by the speed of the CD. Zhao Yunlan took care of Xiao Bao and ate the noodles and cakes little by little. There was not much fine grain at home, and although Xiao Bao could often eat eggs, he rarely ate fine grains. Therefore, Zhao Yunlan was able to make Xiao Bao's noodles and cakes softer. The family had an oily meal, and Li Mingmei washed the dishes. Everyone is ready to go back to their room and rest. Zhao Yunlan still reviewed the learned characters before going to bed as usual. Xiao Bao lay next to Zhao Yunlan, and in the midst of reciting words, he quickly fell asleep. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Stir-fried pork with black fungus is also very fragrant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Stir-fried pork with black fungus is also very fragrant. Spring returns to the earth, and all things come back to life. It started to rain lightly, but the weather is still colder. Zhao Yunlan calculated the time, and Li Mingren should be back. The day my second and third younger brothers returned, they went to see Li Mingren and said they would be back in 2 days. In the past few days, the second and third brothers have also been encouraged by Li Zhizhi to teach Zhao Yunlan and Li Mingmei how to read. If Zhao Yunlan doesn't know how to read now, she will ask Li Mingmei about Li Zhizhi. Li Zhizhi will then ask the second and third brothers, and this will come back again. Suddenly, the Li family has stirred up a learning atmosphere. During this time, Zhao Yunlan has been cooking and trying to change the dishes for the big guy. The Li family is becoming more and more fond of eating the food made by Zhao Yunlan. On the day when the second and third came back from their part-time jobs, Zhao Yunlan used the last meat to cook radishes. Everyone praised Zhao Yunlan's cooking, and the original owner's cooking skills were very average. In modern times, Zhao Yunlan can cook for herself and the taste is also good. Of course, that is when the seasonings are complete, and cooking here is delicious may be because she is willing to add oil compared to others in the Li family. Wang came out of the house and said, "Lan Yang, the boss will be back in the next few days. You can go to the village entrance and buy a pound of pork from Uncle Li's house. Li Er-shu is called Li Shi-tu, and he is a relative who has left the 5 clothes. According to the seniority of Mr. Li, Zhao Yunlan and his family should be called Er-shu. When he was young, Li Shi-tu followed a pork shop owner in the town to go up the mountains and down the countryside to catch pigs. Later, he found some way to do it himself and returned to the village. Li Shi-tu has 2 sons, and now there are 2 pork stalls in the town, one of which is Li Shi-tu's eldest son. Li Shi-tu's second son followed him at home to sell meat in the village and take care of the family's fields. Li Shi-tu has always been a kind-hearted family, never lowering the price for catching pigs, and never selling pork without weight. Sometimes, when poor families come to Li Shi-tu's place to buy meat, Li Shi-tu always builds more. Zhao Yunlan had already arrived at Li Shi-tu's doorstep and looked at the green brick and tile house with envy. "Uncle Li, I'm here to buy a pound of meat," she said. "The price of pork and fat here is 15 won per kilogram, pork belly is 12 won, and lean meat is 10 won. Li Shi-tu said, "The meat has been sold almost in the past 2 days. The new pork has not been harvested yet, and now there is only some meat that doesn't weigh much. Let's see if it works." Zhao Yunlan looked at the small pieces of meat on the meat board, with very little fat and mostly a small lump of lean meat. Her gaze shifted to a small piece of pork belly. Zhao Yunlan said, "Uncle Li, let me weigh this piece of meat." Zhao Yunlan pointed to the pork belly, and Li Shi-tu weighed half a pound. Zhao Yunlan thought about the money given by the Wang family, gave 1 pound of fat, weighed another piece of fat, took a piece of lean meat and weighed it for half a pound. Li Shi-tu also knew about the situation of the Li family over the years, and couldn't hide anything from the village. Thinking of Zhao Yunlan's previous fall, he looked at the meat Zhao Yunlan took and calculated everything based on the price of lean meat. Zhao Yunlan said, "Uncle Li, how could this be? My mother-in-law has given me enough meat money, Uncle Li doesn't need to do this. When I go back, my mother-in-law should talk about me again." Li Shi-tu insisted, but Zhao Yunlan had no choice but to spend only 10 won in the end. On the way home, Zhao Yunlan thought about giving something as a gift to Uncle Li's house. Upon receiving the 5 won money returned by Zhao Yunlan, Wang glanced at the flesh and knew that Li Shi-tu had taken care of her family again. Fourth, there are still a few winter bamboo shoots dug up before at home. Bring them to your second uncle's house. Upon hearing this, Zhao Yunlan once again affirmed the character of the Wang family and only then found out that there were winter bamboo shoots at home, which she had not noticed before. Zhao Yunlan knew there were bamboo on the mountain, but she hadn't seen anyone dig them in the past few days. Her winter bamboo shoots were usually kept in inconspicuous places, and Zhao Yunlan had no idea about it. If she had known, those winter bamboo shoots would have gone into her stomach long ago. Zhao Yunlan watched as Li Zhizhi took out winter bamboo shoots from the corner of the wall and walked outside. She thought about whether she wanted to go to the mountain again and dig some bamboo shoots back, so she planned to take action. Zhao Yunlan called for Li Mingmei to go together, and Xiao Bao wanted to follow. Zhao Yunlan felt that the rainy mountain road was difficult to walk on, so she coaxed Xiao Bao to wait for her at home. The 2 of them carried their baskets and walked towards the back mountain. Lijia village belongs to a geographical location surrounded by mountains on 3 sides, and most of the bamboo is concentrated on a slope of the back mountain. In addition to bamboo, there are other trees on the back mountain, but there is relatively little bamboo on the other mountains. Li Mingmei said, "Sister-in-law, it's probably difficult to find this winter bamboo shoot after the beginning of spring." Zhao Yunlan said, "Well, let's go take a look. If we can't find it, we'll pick up shoes and firewood and go back. It's not like we have a chance to walk around. It's raining here, so we need to pick up the firewood and hang it. If we don't have it, we'll have to wait for a while to pull out the spring bamboo shoots." Recently, Li Mingmei has been following Zhao Yunlan to recognize characters. She was amazed by Zhao Yunlan's speed in recognizing characters, so she is very convinced of Zhao Yunlan. Basically, Li Mingmei was the first to support what Zhao Yunlan said. The two walked one in front and one behind to the bamboo forest, searching for winter bamboo shoots left and right. Sure enough, these bamboo shoots had grown taller and couldn't be eaten anymore. After searching for almost half an hour, Zhao Yunlan finally saw two not too old bamboo shoots. Thinking that they could still be found, her two sister-in-law wandered inside for another hour, searching for 6. Finally, she looked at the 8 bamboo shoots in her basket and smiled contentedly. Zhao Yunlan followed Li Mingmei out of the bamboo forest. The two of them planned to pick up firewood and walk down the mountain. Suddenly, they looked up and saw that there seemed to be small fungus on the tree over there, which was very small. Zhao Yunlan was extremely happy and quickly ran over to pick it. Li Mingmei also followed suit and said, "Sister-in-law, it's agarwood. There is still some dried agarwood in the warehouse at home. Let's pick more and go back to dry it and cook carrots to eat." Zhao Yunlan. Why didn't I see fungus at home? Li Mingmei. In the corner of that cabinet, there aren't many left. At this moment, Zhao Yunlan was only thinking about the sliced black fungus and turned to pick it up. This piece of fungus has all been picked, and Zhao Yunlan is very happy to see that there is almost half of the basket on her back. I don't plan on looking for other fungus anymore. The two of them are carrying baskets and heading home. When they returned to the Li family, the two of them took out their things. Zhao Yunlan took them to the kitchen to wash them clean, and temporarily put the winter bamboo shoots aside. Li Mingmei and Zhao Yunlan spread the picked fungus in the yard to dry, then turned to the warehouse and found the last bit of dried fungus to soak in water. Zhao Yunlan thought that if Li Mingren couldn't come back today, then this meat should be eaten as long as possible, otherwise this fungus stir-fried meat would be okay without meat. Zhao Yunlan plans to use that piece of fat to boil oil. After all, she has taken over all the kitchen work now, so she decides how to handle the ingredients herself. After Zhao Yunlan's head fell, Wang always felt that her family had mistreated her and did not ask much about the kitchen. Zhao Yunlan often uses fatty meat to fry in oil. This time, she bought pork, which is very thick and can cook a small bowl of oil. She scooped up a large portion of the cooked oil and stored it. She also made a small portion of the pork belly for frying in the pot, which can also stir-fry some oil. Therefore, there is less oil left in the pot. Zhao Yunlan asked Li Mingmei to help pick some onions and peel some garlic. Zhao Yunlan also thought of using ginger, but now ginger is expensive, which is basically only available in pharmacies. There are few people selling ginger in the market. There are some garlic and scallions planted in the yard at home. Thinking of garlic, Zhao Yunlan thought of making a stir-fried pork with garlic sprouts. I can still eat garlic sprouts these days, and I should be eating garlic sprouts soon. These stir-fried meats are all good. I just don't have chili peppers, and I don't know if there were people growing chili peppers in other parts of this era. Li Mingmei helped to clean the garlic and scallions, while Zhao Yunlan patted the garlic and stir-fried it with the meat in the pot. Seeing that the meat was stir-fried well, she put the fungus in and added some salt. Finally, before getting out of the pot, she threw the scallion slices away. A delicious slice of black fungus meat came out of the pot. Li Mingmei thought it was very fragrant, while Zhao Yunlan thought it would be even better if there was Duban chili sauce. Zhao Yunlan then used the freshly cooked fat residue to cook radish soup. These days, the vegetables haven't come out yet, so the only thing at home is radish and cabbage. It's said to eat carrots in winter and ginger in summer, but Zhao Yunlan still prefers to drink this oily carrot soup. Today's staple food is steamed with corn flour and brown rice together. Of course there is more corn flour. When the food here is almost ready, I haven't seen Li Mingren's figure. Previously, Li Mingren would come back early, but dinner hasn't arrived yet. I guess he shouldn't come back today. Previously, Li Mingren did not give the second and third a definite time. The Li family looked at the dish of black fungus stir-fried meat on the table and thought to themselves that it wasn't a waste of meat. However, as they watched Zhao Yunlan eat a piece first and smell it so delicious, everyone couldn't resist the temptation of the meat. As a result, the plate of black fungus stir-fried meat was quickly finished. A few small ones at home are still unsatisfied, even Xiaobao is clamoring to eat. Li Zhizhi helped Li Mingmei tidy up the dishes, while the second and third went to fetch water to prepare the hot water for washing up at night. Zhao Yunlan and Xiaobao were digesting in the yard. Zhao Yunlan thought to herself that under the leadership of the Li family, all male and female children were treated equally, and she would help to share all the household chores, except for Li Mingren's accident. End of this chapter.